amplitude, and spacing. But before talking about the n element array, we need to discuss about two types of the array. The first one is nothing but the linear array. When you can say your arrays are linear, whenever you are having the arrays which are placed along the line, and if suppose this is nothing but the x axis, and if I'm putting all the elements, I have n elements over here, and if I putting all the elements, this is my element 1, this is my element 2, and this is my element n. So an array is said to be linear if the individual element of array is spaced equally. This means the spacing between 1 and 2, if it is d, it must be d here, and they are along a line. So I can say individual elements of the array are spaced equally along a line. So you can say these are nothing but the linear arrays. What about the uniform array? Now you are having a structure here as a linear array. Now a linear array is said to be uniform if the elements are fed with the equal amplitude. You can say you are having a currents of equal amplitude and uniform progressive phase shift. We'll try to understand what is the meaning of this uniform progressive phase shift. Now, first thing, when you can say your arrays are linear arrays, when you are placing them along with the line, and then you can say the spacing between each and every element is same, that if this is D, this must be the D. Now, what about the uniform arrays? Each and every element, this is element 1, this is element 2, this is element 3, and such n elements will be there. Each and every element is fed with the same current or equal current. What will be the fed currents? E I0 e raised to j alpha 0, I1 e raised to j alpha 1, I2 e raised to j alpha 2, and so on. It will come I n minus 1 because I'm considering it from 0 e raised to j n minus 1 alpha. Otherwise you can say alpha n minus 1 till that one. Okay? But you're assuming that whatever currents you're giving are equal. I1, I2 up to In minus 1. Okay, so your resultant field will have E0 is equal to E1 is equal to E2. You assume this is nothing but the E0 will be okay. Okay, now you are having a progressive phase shift. Now your resultant field will also have a progressive phase shift. What will be the resultant field or the received field? The received field because of this will be E0 e raised to j psi 0, E1 e raised to j psi 1, E2 e raised to j psi 2. When I say the progressive phase shift, that means that each and every element is having the same phase shift. So if 1 or 2 का जो भी phase shift है, if it is psi, so I can say you are having a progressive phase shift, means if I am getting E0 e raised to j0 psi, this is the because of first element. Because of second element it will be E0 e raised to j1 psi. Because of third element I'll get, here I'll write, because of third element I'll get E0 e raised to j2 psi. So this is the meaning of that progressive phase shift. So if I'm considering linear array, or I can say linear uniform array, what will be the phase shift of each and every element? So this is, I can say, x-axis where I'm putting my n element. This is my element 1, this is my element 2, this is my element 3. I'll have such n number of elements, and the spacing between each and every element will be same because they are linear. Now they are linear as well as they are having a uniformity in their phases. So I can say this is nothing but the phase shift or path difference between my element 1 and 2. So this will be d cos of phi as we have seen here. What will be the field produced because of element number 1? ठीक है, आपका element number 1 क्या होगा? E0 e raised to j 0 psi. ठीक है, so 0 e raised to 0 becomes only E0 because the phase shift will be 0. Because of second, it will be E0 e raised to j psi 1 psi. This will be e0 e raised to j 2 psi. ठीक है, and so on. So this is my element 1, this is my element 2, this is my element 3, and this will be my element n. So the finally आपका जो भी होगा यहाँ पे, it will be e0 e raised to j n minus 1 psi. So these are nothing but the individual field produced by each and every element. Now what we are assuming, or what is the given here, your psi 1 is equal to psi 2 is equal to, because whenever it comes to the field produced by source 1, it is e raised to j, I can say here, if I put here j psi 0, psi 1, psi 2, but here we are considering psi 1 is equal to psi 2 is equal to psi 3, which is nothing but I can say psi. So you are having a progressive phase shift. So what do you mean by this psi? We have already gone through this one. Psi is equal to beta d cos of phi plus alpha, whereas beta is phase constant, d is nothing but the distance between two elements, cos of phi is nothing but the cos of that observation angle, plus alpha, alpha is nothing but the, this is the phase difference between, or phase shift between your input current. ठीक है, so whenever it comes to the total field, if I am interested in the total field, I know that field due to element 1 is nothing but the E0 e raised to 0 j psi. What about 2? It's E0 e raised to 1 j psi. What about field 3? It will be E0 e raised to j 2 psi लिखिए, या फिर आप 2j psi लिखिए, will be same. Because of 4, it will be E0 e raised to j 3 psi. If I am using such n elements, I'll get this E0 e raised to j n minus 1 psi. So these are nothing but the field produced because of each and every element. Now, if I want to know what is the total field, I need to add all these fields produced by separate or by each and every element. So by using the superposition theorem, I can say that my total field E is equal to field produced by element 1 E0 e raised to 0 j psi plus E1 e raised to j 1 psi plus E2 e raised to j 2 psi plus up to n element. So it will be E0. Sorry, your amplitudes are equal. That's why I'm considering this is E0. So whenever you are feeding elements with the equal amplitude currents, then resultant amplitudes will be equal. If I0 is equal to I1 is equal to I n minus 1, then I can say my E0 is equal to E1 is equal to, I can say up to E n minus 1. So here you can consider this are nothing but the equal amplitude, but you can't comment on the phase shift of the received field. Okay. So here E is equal to, I'll just take E0 common here. So E raised to 0, 0 will become 1 here. So 1 plus E0 e raised to j psi plus E, I have taken this common. So I'll just neglect this one. This will be j 2 psi, so on, and e raised to j n minus 1 psi. Okay, this is my equation number 1. Now I have received some equation over here, which I have given a name as the equation number 1. Now I'm multiplying each and every element or each and every side with e raised to j psi. So what I'll get, I'll just say multiplying above equation by e raised to j psi. So I'll just see what I'm getting over here. So if you multiply here, your new equation will become e raised to j psi is equal to E0 e j psi, because I have multiplied now, plus e raised to, this will get added, that's why it will become j2 psi plus e raised to j3 psi plus e raised to j n psi, because अगर आप इसको e j psi के साथ multiply करेंगे तो it will become this one. So I'm giving this as a equation number 2. Now I am subtracting my equation number 2 from equation number 1. So if I subtract this one, I'll get E common 1 minus e raised to j psi इज इक्वल टू, आपका ई जीरो तो कॉमन है, अंदर वाला टर्म अगर सब्सट्रैक्ट करने जाएंगे तो आपको सिर्फ वन और माइनस ए वाला चीज मिलेगा. सो दिस विल बिकम ई जीरो वन माइनस ई रेज टू जे एन साइन. आफ्टर subtracting 2 from 1. So you have received a new equation which gives you e1 minus e raised to j psi is equal to e0 1 minus e raised to j n psi. So here I can rearrange the terms for this equation which I have received now. So, or I can write here on the next slide. So I'll just write that equation again which I have received. So e1 minus e raised to j psi is equal to e0 1 minus e raised to n psi. ठीक है. So if I'm interested in the total electric field, I'll just put that term e0 1 minus e raised to j n psi divided by 1 minus e raised to g psi. ठीक है. So if I split this equation as I have done in the previous equation, I'll get e0 e j n psi by 2 e minus j n psi by 2 minus e raised to j n psi by 2. Now you can see this and this, when you multiply, this gets added and the addition will be 0. So e raised to 0 will come 1 here. ठीक है. So similarly same treatment I am giving here, e raised to minus j psi by 2 minus e raised to j psi by 2. So similarly you'll get here 1 and that will be the minus term. So I can now here if I see this equation is nothing but the in a trigonometry form. So e raised to minus j theta e raised to j theta is nothing but the minus 2j sine theta. So I'll just put, I will see this equation. This equation is exactly in this form. So the total electric field here is nothing but the E0. Now I need to take care of this term because I have received ये वाला चीज वो साइन के फॉर्म में. So this you can take j psi by 2 as a common and you can say this will be the n minus 1. So this equation will become j n minus 1 psi by 2 and this will be sine of n psi by 2 divided by sine of psi by 2. Now this is nothing but the total electric field which I have received. So if I simplify this one and if I put it into the angle form, I can write E is equal to E0 sine of n psi by 2 sine of psi by 2. ठीक है. Angle will be n minus 1 psi by 2. So this is nothing but the total electric field. Now this total electric field you have considered when your source 1 is a reference. ठीक है. Now what will happen if reference shifts to 0 or center? So if reference shifts to center, ठीक है. Now if my center shifts to or my reference shifts to center, this term phase wala term will reduce to 0. So here I can say E is equal to E0 sine of n psi by 2 divided by sine of psi by 2 with angle 0 where I am shifting my reference to the center. So this is nothing but the expression for the total electric field with an n element array of equal, I can say, amplitude and a equal spacing. Now next one is nothing but the array factor. Now when I talk about the array factor, this is very important term to analyze an element array. So when I say array factor, now here the first thing which we will see is nothing but the with psi is equal to 0. How I can analyze this equation? So I can say with psi is equal to 0. You can analyze this particular thing to evaluate the function. So with psi is equal to 0, I'm just going for the D'Hospital rule where I can analyze numerator and denominator separately. So according to this rule, if you're tending or if your psi tends to 0, you can differentiate your numerator and denominator separately. So limit psi tends to 0 for e, which is nothing but the e0. Now here just put limit psi tends to 0. So you can differentiate it separately, d by d psi sine of n psi by 2. ठीक है, ये टर्म सेपरेटली डिफरेंशिएट कर सकते हो, और जो आपका ये वाला टर्म है दैट आल्सो यू कैन separately differentiate. So sine of psi by 2. So by further solving this I'll get e0 sine का differentiation आपका cos होगा, ये n by 2 वापस common. So limit psi tends to 0 n by 2 cos of n psi by 2. ठीक है, उसके बाद d by d psi again I can take 1 by 2 cos of psi by 2. Now here your limits are psi tends to 0. So if I put psi is equal to 0, this whole term will become 0. Cos of 0 is 1. Again, if you see here, cos of 0 will be 1. So n by 2 divided by 1 by 2, 2 will get cancelled. So this complete term will become n e0. So I can say whatever I have received here, e is equal to n e0. And this is nothing but the maximum value for this. This is not the case every time. Your psi will be something. So I can say my maximum value is n e0. Now, if I'm getting E max is equal to n u0, and this is the case only when psi is equal to 0. Okay? Now, when you're normalizing your electric field, how you're going to give a normalized electric field? En is equal to E, that is received electric field intensity divided by E max. So we have got the value of E, which is nothing but the sine of n psi by 2 divided by sine of psi by 2. So this is nothing but the E0, which we have already seen. And what about E max? E max is nothing but the n E0. So if you put these values in the normalized field, so I'll just put E0 sine of n psi by 2 divided by sine of psi by 2 divided by n E0. So this will be my normalized electric field intensity because of n element array. E0 will get cancelled. Okay? Only 1 by n will left. So 1 by n sine of n psi by 2 divided by sine of psi by 2. So this is nothing but the new equation which I have got for the normalized field. This normalized field is also called as the normalized array factor, or you can consider this as the array factor. Okay? So if I want to define array factor and the significance, first I'll just write what I have received right now. So array factor is equal to 1 by n sine of n psi by 2 divided by sine of psi by 2. You can call it as a normalized array factor, and which can be denoted by AFN. Okay? So this, when you see this kind of symbol, you can say this is the normalized array factor. Now, what is the significance of array factor? So when it comes to the significance of the array factor, so significance of array factor. Now, if I have n number of element or n element array, and I don't know what will be the radiation pattern, and I'm not actually sure whatever arrays I'm using are the isotropic in nature. So to analyze such kind of the arrays, we can use this array factor by using the pattern multiplication rule. So what do you mean by pattern multiplication rule? So this pattern multiplication rule tells us that the total field of non-isotropic array is equal to if I have a non-isotropic array, this is equal to array factor of isotropic array. So if I know the array factor of isotropic array, I can multiply that array factor of isotropic array with the field of single non-isotropic element. So I don't need to calculate the field of each and every element. If I am using non-isotropic elements and they are identical elements, then I can multiply the array factor of isotropic array or isotropic element with that field of a single non-isotropic element. So it gives me the complete radiation pattern of that n element array. So if the actual elements are non-isotropic sources, then the total field can be obtained by multiplying the array factor of the isotropic sources by the field of a single non-isotropic element, and this rule will be called as the pattern multiplication rule. Now we'll talk about the phasor diagrams. Okay, so what do you mean by phasor diagrams, and what will be the change when the reference, or when your reference shifts from center to the origin or to a particular source? What will be the change in the phasor diagram? So first we'll talk about the any source as a reference, and then we'll talk about other things. Okay, you're observing your field at very you can say in the far field region, which is nothing but the um, uh, at the distance point p. ठीक है, now here we are going to talk about the 4 element array. और यहाँ पे जो भी 4 element array है उसका आप क्या कर रहे हो, you are using one of the source as a reference. So this is my source 1, source 2, source 3, source 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I'm putting this one as a reference, ठीक है, so I'll just name it. This is a 4 element array with the element 1 as a reference. So I can say 4 element array and my source 1 is reference. ठीक है, now if I consider the phasors of individual element, ठीक है, अगर आप यहाँ पे consider कर रहे हो your phasors of individual element, so in this I'll just consider phasors of individual elements. So here my source 1 is a reference, so my source 1 will be here. ठीक है, और progressive phase shift है. So if I'm considering phase shift between 1 and 2 will be say psi, then 1 and 3 will be 2 psi, means this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So this will be psi. So 1 2 में psi, 1 3 में 2 psi, or 2 3 में psi. So this is the meaning of a progressive phase shift. Now next one is nothing but the what kind of phasor addition will be there. So if I draw here phasor addition, now I need to consider each and every phasor, and I need to add each and every phasor. My one is a reference. ठीक है, so आपने यहाँ पे reference. Now 1 और 2 में आपका shift है psi. ठीक है, now here also आप ये से जा रहे हैं. ठीक है, so 3 में और 1 में आपका shift होना चाहिए psi. ठीक है, so this is phasor number 3. What about the 4? I'll just trying. So this goes here and this goes here. So this is your 4. So this is also psi. Now whenever you are doing a phasor addition, you combine ये आपका जो भी resultant है यहाँ पे. So this is nothing but the total electric field or total field, and the angle if you psi plus psi plus psi. ठीक है, so अगर ये यहाँ पे देखेंगे तो ये जो होगा आपका n minus 1 psi by 2. So this will be the angle which we have already seen when you are using any one source as a reference, because we have seen that equation of total field which gives you the angle of n minus 1 psi by 2. But this is the case when you are using one source or source number 1 as a reference. How things changes when you are using a center as a reference. So as I am having only 4 elements here, I can't consider any element as a center. But if I take a case whereas I'm using a 5 element array, okay, so you are having a 5 element array. Okay, now here I'm using a reference 3. Okay, so this is my x-axis where I'm putting my 5 elements: element 1, element 2, element 3, element 4, and element 5. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. And here I'm considering I have shifted my reference to 3. So this is my reference now. So what kind of individual phasors will be there? So if I talk about individual phasors, the second diagram will give you the idea about individual phasors. So this will be your, so your 3 is nothing but the reference. आपका ये 3 है. So this 4 will lead this reference by psi. This will lead this with the साई, और ये आपके लैग करेंगे माइनस साई से, ये इसको माइनस साई से लैग करेगा। अगर आप यहाँ पे ड्रॉ करेंगे, सो दिस इज योर 4 which leads with an angle psi, this is 5 which leads with an angle phi. Now this will be the source 2 which will be lag by angle psi, 1 will lag with the angle psi. So ये है आपका individual phases 1 and 2. Now, while putting or while calculating the total field, you need to add all these phasors. So, what will be the resultant of this? So, when it shifts to the center, obviously, your source 3 here, I'll just try to do here. So, this is nothing but the your source number 3 right now. ठीक है, आपका ये source 3 है, ये आपका भी रेफरेंस है, ठीक है. सो दिस इज योर सोर्स नंबर 4 जो आपको लीड कर रहा है, ये भी आपको लीड कर रहा है 5. an angle between this is nothing but the psi, this is also angle of psi. What about other two? They are lagging, ठीक है. So this is 2 and this is again, if this is 2 I can say this will be the, just give me a minute so I can just try to put it properly. So just talking about the two other phases, I have taken 3 as a reference. Then I can say this will be the 2. और आपका जो भी है 2 और 3, this is 3, this is 2, the angle will be psi. ठीक है. Again if this is 1, I can say आपका जो भी difference होगा इन दोनों का phase difference वो psi होगा. And the collectively whenever you talk about the resultant of this particular field, this resultant is nothing but the एडिशन ऑफ ऑल फेजर्स. तो आपका जो भी रिजल्टेंट यहाँ पे होगा आपका ऐसे दिखेगा. सो जस्ट ऐड दिस वन, this will be your total electric field. So I can say, but is this will be theta is equal to 0 and this will be your total electric field. So your this 3 and I can say if I'm considering this as a 3, this 3 और इसका जो भी angle है वो theta is equal to 0. So I can say this is the phasor diagram for center of the array as a reference. So I'm considering 3 as a reference. ठीक है. और ये है